Hi, Emmy.
Hi Inez, how are you?
Good and you?
I'm good, thank you.
So we're here on the first webinar of the year. Super excited. We're here with Emmy. Emmy, can you tell us a bit more about yourself? How you ended up in PRF?
Right, hi everyone, nice to meet you all. So I'm from Ecuador. I'm a geographer actually. So my background is like in environmental sciences and those kind of things. But I'm also super passionate about gastronomy, food cultures. So that's how I kind of like shifted my path into coffee. And then I discovered coffee through some friends, and since then I became super passionate about it. And yeah, last year I really decided that I wanted to start a career in coffee actually, and that's how I ended up in PRF, because I believe that PRF has this ability, this thing to really foster connections between producer and roasters, and to create a very good, value chain, the coffee value chain, something that it's very needed nowadays.
Super. And Emmy, it's gonna be also our like second hand to support everyone here. She's our events coordinator, or can you explain your title, please?
Right, yes. I am the associate project manager for PRF, and I will be assisting everyone who comes to the sourcing trip experience with the organization and logistics of it. Also, with other stuff about organization and logistics as well, about the whole forum. But particularly for the sourcing trip experience, I'll be helping with the logistics to the guests, and also with the hosts as well.
Yeah, so if you have any questions, you want to know any details, you can contact me or Emmy, and we'll be your first support line during all of this trip. I'm
Right.
super happy to help you guys.
Yeah.
So, well, for this webinar, we're going to be talking about discovering new sourcing partners at PRF Honduras. This is going to be our 10th special edition, as we have been mentioning since last year. It's going to be a really special forum for us, and we're going to give everything extra. So we're super excited to have you guys here. And as we mentioned, well, if you don't know me, guys, I'm Ines. I'm the sales and relationship manager, and with us is Emmy, that she already mentioned. She's our associate project manager. So, during this webinar, we're going to be talking about navigating the coffee industry. We're going to have so many special guests that are going to explain a bit of what we're going to be talking about. And we're going to give you all the new updates we have for this coming special edition. And of course, the most important topic that we're going to be discussing is the sourcing trip experience. And the last part is going to be question and answers.
So, shifting to one of the points from today's webinar, we're going to be having Ricardo Pereira from Purity Coffee, who is going to help us navigate the coffee prices of last year in general, the C market, what it is expected to for 2025, and how to be resilient with this coffee market nowadays. So, hi, Ricardo. Nice to finally meet you and to have you here with us. So to start with, I would like to ask you if you could give us an overview of the coffee market prices and major trends over the years.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is a very sensitive topic, especially with everything that is happening right now. So I'm very fortunate, or maybe unfortunate, to be invited to talk about this. Is a very hot topic right now. Pricing is really impacting a lot of people in the supply chain. Today again, the C market hit another all-time record high. So we're seeing prices that were never seen before. So this is there's a lot to unpack. Let's put it this way, with the market. But I think the main word, I guess, I would say for the time being is actually uncertainty. We have no idea where this market is going to go. And if that's of any comfort, I think it's not. But what we need to do is to be paying close attention what is going on globally and what is impacting the pricing of coffee in the market right now, right?
Right.
I think that this week, CONAB, which is a Brazilian supply chain organization that is government based, came out, announcing the 2025-2026 crop cycle. And their forecasts actually said that the original forecast from last year to now has changed, and it's less, 4.4% less coffee being produced in Brazil this coming year than they had originally forecasted. And also, this is actually the lowest in terms of volume of production for Brazil in the last 3 years. So Brazil being such a huge player in terms of coffee production, that's definitely impacting what's happening right now with the market. Of course, when you have that type of news, you're actually fueling the funds, hedge funds, and companies to actually and play on the stock market, and then also going in and buy rapidly a lot of coffee because they actually want to benefit from this struggle that the market is, or this opportunity in their eyes that the market is giving them. Right now,
Right.
when you look at a concern that has been talked about for several months and years is actually the global consumption and the demand, right? The global demand. And when you look at potentially having 8.8 million bags less in terms of production this year, in general, this could affect a lot, the market and the pricing as well. So keeping and motivating this coffee price to be high as it is right now. Also, another thing to point out is that the Brazilian real versus the dollar, the Brazilian real got some strength in the last 2 months. It's the lowest that has been trading. This is also impacting coffee producers in Brazil. We hear a lot that coffee producers in Brazil that have coffee in inventory right now, they're not selling anything. They're just waiting. They're keeping their stocks, and they are waiting to see where the market is going to reach, and then potentially selling that coffee and benefiting from this market as well. Another thing that we need to pay attention is actually weather. The weather has a huge impact, and the forecast for rainfall in Brazil during this time of the year has been way less as well than they had forecasted, also causing impact. And also the whole entire El Nino weather pattern that we had in Central and South America last year could also impact production this year and next year as well. So those are some of the things that we need to be paying attention. Also, on the other side, on the flip side, you have a lot of stocks in Europe because of the UDR regulations last year. People try to ship coffee as fast as possible from origin to Europe to gain time or beat the deadline for the UDR requirements, which that was postponed until the end of this year. So we have some really interesting amount of stock in Europe that can also play a part in the near months, and also consumption trends. I think that we need to be paying attention at that. The Wall Street Journal came out with a some information this week about the trend, the consumption trend changing a little bit from consumers. Consumers are really concerned about the pricing of coffee. So what they are doing is they're trying to be more intelligent on the way that they consume. So the consumption trend could affect, for example, coffee houses. Instead of going into a coffee shop and paying $5, $6, $7 for a drink, people might be buying bags of coffee and then drinking coffee at home, and the consumption at home may increase as opposed to in the coffee shop scenario. So people are very, Americans, for example, are very careful these days with also the politics and the change in and the politics in the scenario here with the new president coming on board. Also, the tariffs, is something that people are talking about all the time. Is it gonna, are we gonna see a tariff in green coffee? We don't know, right? We have to be paying attention and watching. So going back to what I said before, uncertainty is the word when it comes to the market, and we all need to be paying very close attention to it.
Thank you, Ricardo. So you're mentioning uncertainty. What could you suggest to producers and roasters as well to navigate that uncertainty, like in this year, for example?
Yeah, I think that if you can't continue to rely on a supply chain model that is broken, right? When we look at the linear way of supply chain that we currently have in the coffee industry, um, it is broken. We have seen that affect the industry, the producers, the traders, right? We are seeing an amount of companies going out of business because of that, right? So that is a system and a model that is broken. So I think that for people in the coffee industry, producers all the way to roasters, is actually to redefine or redesign the way that you actually have your supply chain. One way of doing that is actually getting closer to origin. If I'm a coffee roaster, my it's to my benefit to actually go to origin, get closer to where coffee is grown, having more relationships, meaningful relationships at origin, and have this proximity at origin. If I'm a producer, I have to do the opposite, right? So I have to be closer to roasters. And that means how can I understand the demand from roasters and be closer to roasters, right? For producers as well, when you talk about value chain, the closer to the consumer you are, the more margin you are able to capture, right? So, meaning people think a lot, oh, yeah, roasters are making a lot of money, but because they're closer to the consumers, they actually have a better margin. It is true, um, partially true, because the cost of operations and the cost of doing business also at consuming countries are higher than perhaps in producing countries, but they have an opportunity to actually sell the finished product to the consumer, right? So they're closer to the ones that are paying the final price. So if the producers understand that if they can develop a relationship with the industry or the roasters closer to the consumer, they're actually capturing potentially more value in the value chain of coffee and actually capturing a bigger margin as well for their product. So redesigning, re-understanding, it's time to change. The traditional supply chain model has been around for decades, for many decades. It's broken. It's not working right now. It's totally based on the C market, and the C market right now is at an all-time high. So if you actually continue to do business and you don't change the way you see it, then you're going to be, doomed, and your destiny is going to be on the hands of a market that is crazy and is uncertain, right? So it is time to actually redefine or reorganize your supply chain. And PRF, for example, is a perfect opportunity or platform for roasters and producers to actually connect, to talk, to have a more transparent communication and open communication. I'm excited about this event in Honduras, and I cannot wait to be there to participate.
Thank you very much, Ricardo, for your participation and also for introducing the benefits of PRF and how can it help to face the 2025 coffee market. So thank you very much for this, and we'll be seeing you at Honduras
Thank
in
you.
March 27. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
So super interesting. We're gonna be talking about this a lot on our 10 edition, and we wanted to give you guys a little bit of market insights.
So, what do we have new to PRF Honduras? We're gonna have our own volunteer sponsor with Cop and Trade. We're also gonna be hosting our own PRF matchmaking, so kind of like a coffee speed dating, which Inez is gonna be explaining later. And then we are also gonna be having an educational sponsor, which is the Zamorano University, which I don't know if you know, but is probably the most recognized university in Latin America for agricultural sciences. And to introduce our education sponsor, we have Dr. Ari Sanders with us, who is the Associate Dean of the graduate program. So, hi
Hi.
Ari, how are
Hey,
you? Thank you
I'm
for
fine,
joining
thank
us.
you. And thank you for having me on this forum today.
Yeah,
So,
so
yes,
Ari, can you tell us a bit
Sorry.
more all the workshops that Zamorano is going to be hosting? What are the topics? What are we going to be able to learn on this 10th edition?
Okay, no, perfect. Thank you for asking. Look, so we forming part this year of the PRF forum, and what we're going to do is to organize a mini conference by students and professors of Zamorano. So we have a very interesting lineup of five talks, and starting with one of our students of our master program on coffee and business. His name is Carlos Guerra. He's an entrepreneur in Copan and owner of San Rafael. And he's going to talk about vertical integration. I think exactly what Ricardo was talking about how sell your coffee near the consumer. He's quite successful in Copan. He's a producer, he's a roaster, and he's also a retailer. So he has a very successful model in a touristic area, so some kind of adventures over there. And he's going to talk about his experience. And he's also exporting coffee, and he's linking coffee with other products. They have also a small farm, milking farm. So they're connecting coffee with other products. And I think that's a very interesting case. We have also Dario Enamorado. He's also a student of our master program. And he's an experienced coffee producer. He's his own farm. But he also working with development projects in the field of coffee. And he worked in a couple of projects as a technician. And he's going to talk a little bit more about the farm field schools he organized on his own farm with small farms in the area. I think he's talking about education, innovation, and research done by own farmers, so not done by the international institutes of local institutes, but done by own farmers to improve the production system. And then we have starting with one of my colleagues, Jorge Cardona. He's the head of the Coffee Center and the Coffee Lab at Zamorano. He's also a professor at the master program, and he's going to focus on coffee quality. He's highly interested in the post-harvest aspect, how you can maintain the coffee quality in the processing, and how you can add value, or you can maintain the quality in that whole process. If you have a good coffee and the processing is not going that well, you're losing points. If you're losing points, you're losing money. So he's going to focus on that. And he's doing a lot of experience at Zamorano with Beneficio Seco in the batch we have at Zamorano. My other colleague who's going to talk is Ricardo Peña. He's from Colombia. He's our soil professor. And I think he's a very interesting person because he has a very interesting focus. Normally, soil management is based on chemicals. And he changed that mindset, and he's focusing more on the biological aspects of soil management. So how to improve organic matter, how to maintain moisture in your soil, how to manage that. So he's discussing soil management, conservation, and better health, soil health in those coffee farms. And the last talk will be done by me. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the topic of stranded assets. One of the main issues we have in this moment in agriculture, not only coffee, is external influence, and including natural influences like climate change that can convert your assets to a liability. Or that means you can lose your assets on a certain term you expected. Already talked said by Ricardo, people are shutting down the activities. That has to do with stranded assets. You have a successful finca, successful production units or roasting units, and something happened externally and your asset converting in a liability. I want to talk about this, especially focusing on climate change, how to anticipate this, and what kind of strategies you can apply to not converting in stranded assets. I think it's they're all small talks. There will be Q&A after the talks. I think it's very interesting if you be on the PRF forum in San Pedro, and we are looking forward to be a part of this activity. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Ari, for your time and for introducing all of the amazing things that we're going to have at PRF with the workshops with Zamorano.
Okay, you're welcome.
Next, we have the producer and roaster matchmaking that Ines is going to be explaining more about it.
Well, this is going to be a new activity that we're having for the event. This is something that the roasters have been asking for us during a few events, and we wanted to create this like a speed dating concept, but we're not going to get you any dates. We're going to get you the best partners. And how it's going to work, we're going to have a few tables in the middle of the arena, of the exhibition arena, in which on one side there's gonna be the roasters, so you guys, and on the other side we're gonna have the producers. The idea is that you're gonna be able to talk with this producer for 3 minutes, then switch to the next one. So it's gonna be a more of an icebreaker to meet new people, to meet new producers, and there's not only gonna be Honduran producers, but all of Latin America. So you're gonna get to know a bit about every country and a few different coffee profiles. So this is like the idea. And we're gonna send you more details when we're like a month prior to the event, so you know how the dynamic is gonna work, how you can join, and So this activity is gonna be super fun, and we hope that all of you guys are able to join.
So what's coming back to PRF? We have our Global Coffee Roasting Contest, sponsored by Gisen. We're also going to be having again the Cacao Masters Cup, and this year is going to be sponsored by Sucoleto, a premium fine cacao chocolate from Honduras. And we're also going to be having the PRF seed again.
Can you go back to the other slide? Yeah. So I just want to mention that for the Global Coffee Roasting Championship, Gisen is bringing 2 6-kilogram roasters, and this is gonna be a super great competition. We want to invite all of you to apply for this competition because the awards are gonna be amazing. And also, we're having the Cacao Masters Cup. We wanted to integrate cacao a few events ago, and since PRF Farm Summit, we had the first cacao competition, and we're gonna have it again, but this time with Sucoleto. So, and the last part that Emmy mentioned is the PRF seed. Yeah. So this is an initiative that we started since PRF Guatemala, in which we wanted to recognize the entrepreneurs of the industry that want to do a positive impact to the coffee community. So we're gonna give $10,000 to 5 winners, in which we're gonna analyze their projects. And for example, the one of the winners that we had in PRF Guatemala is Belinda, that she created 3 educational centers, and she was able to materialize like the school supplies and the infrastructure for the kids of the coffee pickers. So this is the like our biggest initiative that we're doing, and it's for the volunteers. They apply with a video, and then we get to see the finalists on PRF Honduras. So if you want to support this as well, we have some extra that all the money is going to be going to the seed project, and we recommend everyone who wants to support this activity to join us. And you can get more details with me afterwards during an email.
So this year we're also going to be hosting the Sourcing Trip Experience from March 23 to March 26. And yeah, go ahead, Ines, with the details.
So, as you know, this is an activity that we host prior to our events. And it's for us the one that gives more value to the community, because we are able to bring you guys to different hosts. We're going to have 4 hosts that I'm going to mention afterwards. And you're going to be able to join them for 4 days, in which we're going to have many different activities with them. So, we recommend arriving to Honduras on the last day of March 22nd, So you're gonna meet your host on the 23rd, and we're gonna give you the meeting point and the time we're gonna meet. After that, from March 23rd to the 26th, we're gonna have the activities. There's gonna be a lot of farm visitings, a lot of copying. So be prepared to try new coffees every day and some great activities that we're gonna be talking afterwards. And then on March 26th, you're gonna travel back to San Pedro Sula, so you can join us from the 27th to the 28th on our 10th special edition. So we're gonna be introducing two of our four hosts. The first one we have is Five O Coffee, that is in the Marcala region, and Cafico, that is in the Copan region. The other two are gonna be a surprise. They are still coming through, so we're gonna be able to split the groups into 10 to 15 roasters. So you're gonna be in a group with other international roasters traveling for these 4 days to the farms. So I want to introduce to you guys to someone super special. Here's Hans. He was our first official host for PRF Honduras. Hi, Hans.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hans Hagenbarth, and thank you, PRF, for having me here today. I'm from 504 Coffee. I just wanted to share the agenda we have planned for our farms and neighbor farms we work with. So first, we're going to meet at a Pante Hotel where we're going to pick you all. Then we're going to head our way to Morcala La Paz, what we call the capital of coffee here in Honduras. But before getting there, we're going to stop having a breakfast in Lake Yohoa with a view of the lake. We should be arriving before lunch to a capital of coffee. Then we will go straight to our hotel and check in, and then head to lunch. First, we're going to start by visiting one of the farms we work with, which is called Finca San Francisco. We're going to have a tour of the farm, and they also, in the farm, they have an antique depulping machine. They're going to show us the pulping was done years ago before automation was invented. Afterwards, we're going to head to a cupping of some of the coffees we export. Then we will receive a small demonstration of the different brewing methods that are used in the Hondurans, how Hondurans make coffee. Then we're gonna head to Ronnie's, where we're gonna have dinner, and then that will be the end of the first day because we just arrived and we have a stacked day next day. So on day two, we're going to have in the hotel a Honduran traditional breakfast, and then we're going to travel to our farm, which is called Finca Bella Vista, which the tour will consist of two parts. What we call the wet coffee process and the dry coffee process. During the wet coffee process, we're going to take you through the very first step, which is uh, planting a coffee plant. We are going to call it adopting a coffee plant. Each person is going to go through the whole process of making a hole and planting a coffee tree. We also going to have personalized nameplates that are going to be attached to the front of the plant, and every 4 to 5 months we're going to provide each person with pictures of the plant, how it's going, if it's got any disease, which will show you when we fertilize it, when we what we do to protect from any diseases, and hopefully, if your plant survives after 3 years, we're gonna send you some beans from your plant so you can try them. And then afterwards, we will continue to show you the next steps that include picking the cherry and depulping and washing. After that, it's probably gonna be noon already, so we're gonna have some lunch. After lunch, sometimes we want to nap or get a little bit tired, so that's why after lunch we're heading directly to a cupping. We're going to be able to taste some of the coffee we export to the United States. Afterwards, we're gonna finish the dry mill process, and we also in our process, instead of using an electronic to take out the defects of the coffee, to create more jobs in the community we hire women to take out the defects of the coffee with a conveyor belt. So instead of the woman, we're gonna lower the conveyor belt and have you guys take out all the defects from the coffee and see who is able to spot the defects of the coffee and who can do the in the fastest time. Later, we're not only gonna take out the defects, then we have afterwards we have prepared a cupping of only defects a blind coffee defect. So we'll see who who can taste the defect and know which is the defect that is in each cup. Then at the we're going to have some craft beer from Honduras and some cheese tasting. And to end the day, we'll have dinner with a view to the mountains, and then go to the hotel to rest for the next day. Our last day, we're going to have the breakfast at a hotel again. Then we'll leave to another farm we work with. Next to this farm, we're gonna get a tour and everything from that farm. And next to this farm, there's a famous waterfall called Estanzuela. So we're gonna visit it, and then we'll see who wants to. We'll canopy over the waterfall. Then we'll grab some lunch at Salima Cafe, and again we will want to nap because of the food. But we got another coffee cupping. This is a special coffee cupping because this cupping will consist of coffee scored from 90 and above. It will have some geisha and different unique coffee processes that from the farmers we work with. Then we will head back to the hotel to rest and change for our farewell party. Our farewell party will consist of driving to our farm in Finca Bella Vista. Then we're gonna prepare you our typical carne asada, which includes some meat, beans, tortillas, guacamole next to a bonfire, and we're also gonna have a folkloric band that will play traditional Honduran music. And basically, that will conclude our third day. Last day, we pack our bags. Then we're gonna head to another place to have breakfast that it's in front of the mountains, and then we're gonna head back to San Pedro Sula. And before getting there, we're gonna have lunch in Lake Yohoa with a view to the lake, and then we're gonna be arriving around 1 to 2 in the afternoon that day, and that will conclude our searching trip.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Hans. So, as you can see, Hans has prepared an amazing trip for you guys, and we're gonna be able to take a lot of pictures and, well, cup amazing coffees. Bye, Hans.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
So, one of our biggest sponsors is MTPAC, and they are our official sourcing trip experience sponsor. They are sponsoring a few tickets for all of the roasters who want to join and that are collaborating with MTPAC. This covers the 4-day sourcing trip experience trip and the 2-day tickets to the forum.
So, we also have some safety recommendations to give you. First of all, the visas. There are many countries which needs visas to come to Honduras. One of them that we know for a fact that needs a visa is the UK. So be aware of that and start getting ready ahead and preparing all the paperwork, everything that you need in order to get your visa in time. Also, an important recommendation is the yellow fever vaccine. Everyone needs a yellow fever vaccine to enter Honduras. And so there are two things that you need to bear in mind with this vaccine. The first one is that you need to take the shot at least 10 days ahead of your day of traveling to Honduras. And the other one is that if you already have it, it has to have a validity of 10 years. So if you already have it, check that. And then if you need more information, we have our website of Honduras Travel, where you can find more information related to San Pedro Sula, Honduras. What else? We are suggesting you the Copantel Hotel also to stay before the STE, so let's say during March 22nd, and after the STE, so starting March 26, 27, 28. So we have a special discount there, and I will be giving you all the information related to that and to access the discount.
We recommend staying at the Copantel because it's just a 2-minute walk to the forum.
Yes.
So it's way more comfortable, but if you guys want to check other places, it's okay. And we recommend traveling by Uber. Also, I just want to mention, I had been receiving a few questions asking if Honduras is safe, if it's a safe country. And I can personally tell you that I have been to Honduras 3 times already, and it's a super safe place. And we can mention that we're going to give you to the best hosts that are going to get you the best experience ever. So please don't be afraid and join us at this event. So I think we are having a few questions now before we end our webinar. So we're ready to go. If you have any questions regarding the trip, okay. What is the weather in San Pedro Sula? It's really hot. So we're gonna be in AC all the time for the forum, but we recommend having short sleeve sweaters. What else, Abby?
Light long sleeves also because of the sun, so better be protected. Bring hiking shoes, repellent, sunscreen. I mean, it's a very warm and humid weather, I think, as well, right? So
Yeah,
a hat is also very important for you to have. Sunglasses, yeah, anything that helps you stay comfortable at San Pedro Sula.
but we recommend the hiking clothes for the sourcing trip
Right.
experience. But San Pedro is more kind of a city, so bring a bit of everything.
Yes, it is. So everyone needs a yellow fever vaccine, regardless of where your country of origin is. So yeah, take that into account, bear that in mind, and get the vaccine in time. Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna
Let's.
have different options, but Emmy is gonna be sending you a form that you need to fill all of this information. If you're vegan, if you're vegetarian, because we're gonna give this to your host, so he has it in mind and can give you the proper alimentation.
Yes. So please, if you haven't done it yet, do it and send it to me, please. Translation
So
during ST.
yes, all of our hosts they will have someone that speaks English, so there's no need to worry that you're not gonna understand anything. And as you can see, Hans speaks well English, so no need to worry about this. Well, this is a very good question. Thanks, Eric. Actually, Honduras accepts visa everywhere, so credit card it's okay. We recommend maybe bringing some cash and changing it not on the airport because of the exchange currency, but with your host. We're gonna talk to them so they can give you they can take you to a coffee. To a currency exchange house. So maybe we're gonna let you know how much. But in the city, it's okay. Are the farms near the city? This is a really good question. Thank you, Bonfast. Well, no, the farms are a little bit far. The meeting point, we always say it's at 8 a.m., but depending on the host, we're gonna do different meeting times. So the farms are about 3 to 4 hours away. That's why you need to prepare for the long trip. But when you're on the farm, all of the EST is gonna be closed. So you're not gonna be wasting that much time traveling around. Do we have any more questions? So
No.
I think that's about it. Thanks everyone for your time today and for joining us. We're super excited to see you again on this event and our 10th special edition. And also, if you have any roasters that you know that you would like to recommend the sourcing trip or the event, please let us know. You can contact us through email or through our personal WhatsApps. And thank you, Emmy, for joining us.
Oh, thank you. We have one more question there that if yellow fever waiver is possible for people with allergies. I don't know about that, but we can check, and that should be asked to the health ministry of Honduras. Like maybe
I
yes, I don't
don't
know.
I so because they are super strict with the yellow fever vaccine. So we highly recommend that you check with your doctor. Yeah, there are some countries that accept it, but Honduras is super strict with this. As soon as you arrive to the airport, they ask for the yellow fever vaccine. So we highly recommend you have it by hand. But we're gonna ask anyway, and we're gonna get you posted, guys, for everything.
So you're gonna be landing at San Pedro Sula airport. What does it has a special name?
Just look
No.
at San Pedro Sula. Honduras has two international airports, but we recommend San Pedro Sula for everything, for traveling in and then heading out.
Okay. So I think now we are ready. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. And yeah, we'll see you in Honduras in March. Thank you
Thank you.
again and see you soon.